Hi everyone. So I'm going to be showing you how to create a quiz on Google Classroom today, and we will be going over using that Google Classroom form or a Google form, and then how to import the grades into Google Classroom once the quiz is all taken. So first things first, we need to open up one of our Google Classrooms, and I never use the stream. I always go to the classwork tab. This is where you have to create your assignments anyway, and I've created a previous video on how to organize this. So I'm going to go to create, and I want to use the quiz assignment. So first things first is I'm going to title this. This is going to be my pre-wave quiz. This is my pre-sound quiz. Oops, stop typing. And so I'm using this Google form because it's really easy for me to see what topics I need to hit. So here we go. It will create an automatic blank form for you if you haven't created your quiz, but you can import one that you've already got done. So I've got one that I've already done, but if you hadn't, you'd click on this Google form, and it'll take you to Google form, and then you could create your quiz. So I'm going to exit out of this, and then I'm going to add in my Google form. And it is just labeled pre-sound. You can kind of see it hanging out up here. Pre-sound, good. And I'm going to put it on the Lockdown browser. And then there's also this function down here that says grade importing. So if this is ungraded, you will not be able to get that option. I made that mistake the other day because I've known to go back in and assign the grades afterwards, but different story. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we have grade importing checked. We want to make sure that we have the points of the quiz. So if I look over on my quiz that I've created on Google Forms, my total points are 22. I want to make sure that those match. My due date, you can obviously set that to whatever you want. And then my topic, I need to create a new topic for this one. I'm just going to call it sound. Intro to sound. All right. And then I want to make sure that I've assigned it for all of my classes that will be taking this. Excellent. And then we're going to hit the assign button. And we're pretty much done on the Google end for now. We have to go over to the Google class or the Google form. So again, if you haven't created one, you're going to want to do it. So this locked mode that it's saying, that's like our lockdown browser. So once they start the quiz, they won't be able to exit the quiz to go to a different tab. It completely takes over their screen. So if you have them using digital tools, you're going to want to not have them in the lockdown browser and just keep an eye on it. So I'm going to go over to my pre-sound quiz. These are all my questions. It'll even tell me, yep, this is connected to my Google Classroom, and they can only see it using that lockdown browser. I usually give these generic questions, and then I create this password, and I'll go over this in a different video, but I create a question, a short answer question. I make sure that it's required, and I separate my quiz into two sections. So this intro information where they put in their hour, their name, and then this password. Google doesn't actually allow you to create a password, so the question actually needs to read, please enter the password. And then it needs to be a short answer, and then you have to click on regular expression, and then it needs to match. And then this is where we type in our password. So right now, this is going to be the password for this class, and this is the error code. So if they type it in wrong, it'll just say try again. Now these questions aren't worth any points. If I scroll down, I can start to see that I have questions here. Now I've just got general topics on my pre-quiz because what it's going to show me at the end of this are questions that students already know. It'll give me a graph of like all the questions. So like let's say that 80% of my kids already know the crest to trough or the wavelength definition. They already know that from whatever class they've had before. So that tells me I can probably skip that or really cover it lightly in my class instead of doing my normal lessons on it. So we would get that information by going to this response tab. And there's nothing here because no one's taken the quiz, but it'll also export them into a Google Sheet for you, which is very similar to Excel. So once your Google form is all set up, you can go back to the classroom. Here's the assignment, and I have 0 that have turned it in. And once I go into here, you can see all my students are listed below, and none of them have taken it, so there's no grades. It's assigned to 31 of my students in this class, and then you click the import grade function. So if I click it right now, it's going to look to that Google form, but there's no grades there, so it's not going to do anything. But after the students have taken the quiz, it will import all those grades here, and then you can release them and enter them in your gradebook. Hope this video helps you set up your first Google Classroom quiz.